Hi everyone, welcome to this edition of the BraudCast, where we give you bite-sized bits of best practices to help you be a better leader and a more effective communicator. Earlier this week, we asked this question to you. In a crisis, who should be your spokesperson? You went online, you gave us your observations. We appreciate this. Here are some of the interesting observations that were offered up. Brian says he thinks the PR person should go out until the mess is cleared up. Send the PR person out first. He also says that it can be complicated, but if necessary, send out a spokesperson who is a subject matter expert to speak on the topic. Ike says he likes to have several spokespeople, always media trained and ready to go. I agree with you. Nothing says teamwork and says redundancy and support and competence like having multiple well-trained spokespeople who can go out and speak in a crisis. Ike also says that if empathy and sympathy need to be communicated, that's when he would use the CEO. Lori Ellen is in the public sector, a public information officer. She says they use the parity principle. They believe the public information officer should go out first, and then as the event increases in severity, then they would move up the chain of command. But sometimes the senior leader never even has to speak. Great observations. Thanks for sharing those. In my own practice, here are my recommendations. I would say that in the first hour of a crisis, when almost nothing is known, that is the time to send out the public relations person with a document, a script that's called the first critical statement. If you don't have a first critical statement in your crisis communications manual, please contact me and I'll email you one of mine. It says we know something is going on. It gives basic information, but most importantly, it says we're investigating it and we're going to have more information for you shortly. Now, you have to fulfill that promise to go out with more information. So sometime between the beginning of the crisis and the second hour, that's when I would turn to a subject matter expert. The only time I ever roll out the CEO is if there is a threat or harm that was committed to the community or fatalities and injuries. So if there's an environmental release, good time to bring the CEO out. If sympathy and condolences need to be expressed because of serious injuries or fatalities, that is the time to bring out the CEO. But I would bring that person out after several other spokespeople. I don't send them out in the initial hours of the crisis because the CEO really needs to be managing both the crisis management team and the business in those early hours until things are stabilized. Those are my thoughts. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. We will be back on Monday with another interesting question for you. To make sure you see that question as soon as it goes online, please make sure you're subscribing to this YouTube channel, The BraudCast. For The BraudCast, I'm Jarrett Braud.